Hey guys, it's Joe from Eastwood, and in this video we're going to show you the right way to bead roll. We're going to take this 12x12 20 gauge steel panel and we're going to turn it into something that you can put in your project car in just a couple of minutes. So we have everything we need out on the table here. We just need to get a design down onto our piece of metal. There's a couple of things I want to do to this. I want to put a flange down the side so we can butt this up to another panel and potentially weld them together if we have to. I want to do an offset square in the middle, sort of like an access panel, and in that we're going to roll a couple of beads as well. This isn't really something that's going to go into a project car, but it's more of a demonstration just to show you what the bead roller can do. So let's get right to it. All right, so there's a little flange that's going to come up, and we could slide another panel in there if we want to. Up next, let's do that, that access panel square in the middle. Now, we have that offset in the middle, but when it comes to radiusing the edges, really is as simple as grabbing anything with a radius in the shop and just putting it down on the lines. You can see if I put that in the corner right there, that gives us a perfect radius. All we really have to do is trace that with a Sharpie and boom, radiused edge just like that. You can even use the bead dies just for something like that. So next thing, we're gonna have to lay down the lines for our beads. Now, I'm just gonna scribe a line down the middle just for a reference. We're gonna put the beads on either side of that, but this method makes it really easy to get everything lined up, so in goes our line. So once we have that reference line, all we have to do is line up the square to the edge of that, and then if you wanna come out 1.5 inches, boom, 1.5 inches, boom. Then we do that on the other side and then connect them. Very, very easy to get perfect lines. Once you have one done, they're pretty much spaced the same thickness as the ruler too, which is another easy way to do it. And now that we have those two lines on either side, we can come back, a little bit of pre-paint prep on a paper towel, and we can get rid of that line in the middle. So we are looking pretty. So do we want to take our freshly laid out panel here and run it right through the bead roller? You could, but you probably don't want to if you want it to be flat. This piece of scrap right here is an example of what will happen if you just run right through the bead roller. She's not pretty, but she demonstrates warp pretty well. You could see this has a bunch of beads in it, and you can see that material had to come from somewhere, right? As you roll that bead in there, the material tends to come together a little bit, and that's what causes this oil canning, warp. This is a piece of scrap. It's not pretty. Try to look beyond that and just look at the warp. This isn't what you want. Now, in order to counteract that with our nice new panel here, what we could do is pre-stretch it a little bit in the English wheel, and then when we go to bead roll it, in theory, it'll be nice and flat and easy to weld into our project car. So this is a piece of crap. Let's get rid of that thing, and let's hit the English wheel. Now with the English wheel, you don't want to go overboard. You definitely don't need a lot of this, just a very, very subtle bend. Take your time. You don't want to rush through this like you do see those guys on the TV shows. Keep your passes nice and tight, go slow, and trust me, this will make a difference in the final product. I'm going to go ahead and trace my whole layout with the English wheel. All right, so as you can see on the back of the panel there, looking pretty good, nice tight rolls. This has a little bit of a warp to it, but I think that will dial out pretty straight. So good job, Mini English wheel. This is actually a brand new product, pretty cool little piece of kit. This will do up to a 15-inch wide panel, steel or aluminum. This will do up to 18 gauge steel and 16 gauge aluminum. This little wheel will rotate here. These will both rotate 90 degrees, so you can go that way if you need to, as well as the way it's set up right now. Comes with a variety of wheels as well. Hand crank down jack screw, nice little product. But we're good to go. Let's head over to the bead roller and get this thing rolled. All right, so over by the bead roller, we're just about ready to go, but let's go over this thing too, because this is a great little setup for at home if you really want nice beads. It's pretty much everything we have for a hand crank machine on this. We have our 19-inch bead roller. You can pick this up individually to start and then sort of build up to this as you go. But we also have the drive system, which is very nice. We have the table, which is a must-have just to rest your hands on and sort of feed this piece through while you rest on it. I really like that. We also have underneath here the stand, sturdy H-frame, nice die storage rack on there as well. And this whole thing can swivel. You loosen these couple bolts here as well. This rotates 360 degrees, allowing you to get very comfortable. So very, very nice setup. First thing we're gonna roll here is our flange down the side. I got 2 cranks in on this. I already ran a test piece. So we're gonna go ahead and roll this thing. All right, now we're just gonna do the same thing for our little offset panel here. And when we get to this corner, we're gonna adjust the little knob on the motor and slow it down and make that radius and then keep going all the way around this thing. Looking pretty snazzy if I do say so myself. Put a couple of beads in here and this thing will be looking very, very sharp. We're gonna change over from the offset dies to the 3/8 bead dies and get those laid. We'll be all set. Get that, the old 3 cranks down and run her through. All right, so I'm pretty happy with how this turned out. It is just a little bit wobbly. Maybe if I made a couple of those passes a little bit deeper or maybe some shrinker around the edges, I think that would level out perfectly. But as it is right here, this is definitely workable. Couple of clamps, this will weld right into anybody's project car, no problem whatsoever. But that is going to do it, guys. Make sure you subscribe to our YouTube channel. We're giving away a MiG 180 welder at 500,000 subscribers. Also, check out our channel. We host tons of great how-to content, just like this one over there. Make sure you check that out. We'll have the English wheel and the bead roller link below. And as always, thank you so much for watching. I'm Joe. Make sure you keep it right here at Eastwood to do the job right.